Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Math 7, Badger Middle School. Okay, Mr. McCarthy, Ms. Rodenkirk, Ms. Warzen, Distance Learning 2.0 as I call it, and Lesson 811. And it says in here, if it's hard to read, this is a goofy looking ruler. It says, yes, I want this ruler for designing triangles and nothing else. So some of you might be wondering, going, what is going on? Why am I seeing Mr. McCarthy? So for those in Ms. Rodenkirk's or Ms. Warzen's class, what we're going to be doing is we're mixing it up a little bit. I'm going to be doing one of the lessons each week. Mrs. Rodenkirk's going to do one, and Mrs. Warzen's going to do one. And they're going to be slightly different in how they're formatted. I obviously use YouTube and do a video like this. Mrs. Rodenkirk uses Screencastify. And Mrs. Warzen uses like some Edpuzzles and some different things like that. The one key thing to this is everyone's going to see the same lesson, but your homework might be different. You need to follow whatever your teacher has set up for you for your homework. My kids, they know they're going to be going to Canvas and doing a little mini quiz after the lesson on the next day. So like for this week, since our lessons are on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, my students will have a little mini quiz on Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. But that's just for my classes. Ms. Rodenkirk and Ms. Warzen might be doing it a little bit differently. Okay, so take the lesson from whatever format we give it to you and then apply it how your teacher wants you to apply it. I hope that makes sense. This is going to be kind of goofy this time around because this is a weird lesson. So you got to bear with me. There might be some goofy videotaping going on because I'm going to have to move the camera around. So I apologize for that, but I'll do the best that I can for you. Okay, so here we go. Again, this is 8.11. And we're starting off with, I always do these bad dad jokes every day in my classroom, so I'm continuing them. The question was, what did Batman say to Robin before they got in the car? Answer, Robin, get in the car. I know. And then for those of you who are having trouble seeing this, this is a picture of Robin. It says, holy strawberries, Batman, we're in a jam. So, yes, those are some of my bad dad jokes. So here we go. We're doing 811, and we're talking about proper measuring tools. 811 in of itself, in our textbook, you're going to notice if you look, is a lesson where you get together with your group and you measure stuff in either your classroom or in the hallway, and then we make some data tables and things like that. So it's kind of like a hands-on thing. So I'm trying to make this a hands-on, but also be informative. There's not a whole lot for you to do other than really understand what is the best measuring tool for the job. Okay, so that's what our goal is today. So which tool gives us a more precise measurement? Notice I have a regular tape measure. You might have around your house. I have this big long tape measure, which is used, if you notice, it's a big roll for doing things that are very, very big. We have a yardstick, a hand. Back in the day, we used to use hands and stack them like this to count horses, how many hands high they were. We have calipers down here. We have a measuring tape, which you've used in class down here, which is generally used in sewing. We have a laser, which construction people often use, a regular ruler. Notice over here we have a protractor, we have a ruler, we have a triangle. This goofy thing is used in sewing. Okay, so seamstress or tailors would use that. And then also back in the day when they didn't have these tools, we used their feet. If we knew that our foot was and our shoe was 10 inches long, okay, we could go end to end and go 1, 2, 3, and measure how many feet we had and then take that and go from there. Okay, so that's what some of you might be doing. Okay, let's move on. What I want you to do with me is measure several things in your house. You can use whichever measuring tool you have at your house. But I need you to pick at least 5 things to measure. 5. Some should be easy, some should be medium, and some should be hard to measure. Then what you're going to do is get your measurements, write them down on a piece of paper, and then decide which tool is the best tool for the job. Now you're going to only be using one tool. So you're going to find out that using the tool that you have might be awful. And then you might go, well, this tool would have been better, or this tool would have been better. So for examples, you could measure your driveway, the hallway, your desk, a dresser, the countertop, a door, the wall, measure from like the floor to the ceiling, a book, something small like a spoon or a pencil. Okay, things like that. So get stuff that's really tiny and then get stuff that's big. So I'm going to show you what I did. Okay, so I'm going to use a yardstick from the classroom. And these are the things that I'm going to try to measure. This is where I'm going to pick up my phone and then try to walk you through in there. So I apologize if it's not the greatest, but I'll do the best I can. Badger hallway, I'm going to do a desk, a pencil, a paper clip, and then the circumference of a stool I have in my classroom. So here we go. Let's give this a try. Let's flip this around. Okay, so notice I'm in my classroom here at Badger Middle School. Here's my yardstick that I've got, so to measure. And I'm going to start with measuring this desk. Okay? And I'm going to turn this sideways to make it a little bit easier. And I'm going to line up the edge over here and make sure that the edge, okay, is where the last little dash is. And we're going to go all the way across and measure that it's about 23.5 inches. Now notice that wasn't that hard. That was pretty easy. So using a yardstick was pretty easy. If I used a ruler, I might have to move it several times. Okay, my next thing I'm going to try to measure is this paper clip. Okay, let's get the pencil out of the way. Here's the paper clip. And trying to line up the paper clip. And I'm falling in between some of the spots. So because the measurement stick is big, this is kind of hard to precisely measure that paper clip. I can see that it's about 1 1/4, but it would be nice if I had a smaller ruler so I could get a more exact measurement. I can get close, but not exact. Okay, so let's move that paper clip and let's do a pencil. So I have a pencil here. I'm going to try to line it up with the end. Whoops, don't roll away on me. It's kind of difficult. I'm going to do it this way so it doesn't roll away on me. But notice how hard this is with a yardstick because it's a bigger measuring tool. And now I've got it upside down, but we can still do this. So I line up the pencil with the end of it, and we go to the end over here, and notice that with the ruler, it's a little more than 7. It's not quite 7 1/4, it's more like 7 1/8. But that was hard to do because my pencil's rolling around and my yardstick is so big. So it's probably not the best tool in the world. Okay? And now I am over here at the stool. This is my Einstein stool. And I'm going to try to measure the circumference, the distance around. Okay, how am I going to do this? I mean, I can start kind of like there and start rolling my ruler around. And go like this. And I left off right there, so then I got to go back over here and pick up again. And so I'm guessing I'm probably about 40 inches around. How accurate do you think that actually was? You're right, that was awful. Okay, trying to use a yardstick to measure the circumference around there, not a good idea. And lastly, let's go take a look out in the hallway. I got to measure this hallway all the way down with this yardstick. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I started at the wall. Okay, I'm going to make a mark right here with my finger. And I've got to do this. Okay, there's 1. This is 2. And then this is 3. Okay, wait a minute. I think you get the idea. This is going to be awful if I've got to keep doing this all the way down the hallway. Okay, that's not going to work. Okay, so let's go back. So as you can tell, depending on what we're measuring, tool's going to change. So as we're doing this, okay, sometimes the ruler's good, sometimes the yardstick's good, and then sometimes, okay, we want other things. We might want a tape measure that goes around the stool. We might want some other things that are going on. So that wasn't, and again, that's all I had. You might not even have a measuring tool at your house. So you might want to go, I've got to use a string. I've got to use my shoe. I've got to use my hand. Okay, so you got to get creative and give it a try. Okay, let's put this back up. Okay, there we go. And now we're back. So you can see that for my yardstick, the hallway, that wasn't a good thing to do. Desk, nice. Pencil, not good. I did not like doing it with a pencil. Paperclip, it was not accurate. Okay, and with the circumference, it was horrible. Okay, so depending on what we're doing, the whole goal is this is to say, we need different measuring tools depending on what we're doing. Okay, so here's what I need you to do. So I know this isn't a measuring, but we need practice anyway. So I want you to solve these two equations. Okay, this will end the video. This should take you, if you know what you're doing and you've been solving equations, to do this problem and this problem. You can pause it right now so you can write it down. This should take you about 5 minutes at most for both of those problems. So 5-6 minutes. Okay, so you can pause it right now, do the two problems, and then come back and restart it, and I'll have the answers for you. Okay, you're back? You ready? Good. Okay, and then here's the answers that you should be getting. Okay, so you should have gotten 4 for the first one and 10 for the second one. And then notice all my work that's laid out. You have to show your work. Okay, so on that note, measuring. Tools matter. Depending on what you're using, you want different tools in order to ensure that we're accurate about it and we're more precise. Okay, so I hope you got a good idea of that. I hope it wasn't too bad of videotaping, but I gave it a try. So you give it a try at home, and then I'll see you guys next week for our next lesson. Adios.